And 14 years in the making, what glorious purpose. I mean, the boy has finally hit in what I think is the end of Loki's story. This is where he ends. This is done. He's done ski when it comes to Marvel Cinematic Universe. And I'll explain why, but also how he's going to still be able to interact here and there, although it might not be Hiddleston himself anymore. But jumping into it, welcome to I Just Watched. I'm Joseph. Spoiler warning, just in case you haven't seen the episode. But let's discuss. I'm going to talk a little bit about the episode before I jump into the main part, which, yes, is the ending, which is Loki becoming the god of stories. In essence, I think he's definitely the god of stories. However, I don't think it's just the god of stories. I think he's hit that point in his life in the MCU while also becoming something grander, something else, something more powerful, but a kind of a mix, a hybrid of these two characters, of the god of stories, of Atlez. But before I jump into that, I gotta talk about the episode. And overall, I think the episode, it's good. I mean, the parts with, again, I think it's Majors who is killing it as Kang. I mean, every time he's on screen as He Who Remains, Victor Timely, those are my favorite moments of this whole season. So I love the fact that we went back and I thought it was really great that you see Loki interacting with him again. And He Who Remains was like, time slipping. I already know about that. I would have figured you learned how to pause time by now. And he's like, what makes you think I haven't? Just that interaction, it really made you think this whole time. You think you're doing something different. They're doing something against the plan, really trying to fight the powers that be here. And the whole time it was something that He Who Remains already knew was gonna happen until Loki really says, all right, you know what? I've been trying to solve your equation the whole time. I'm just gonna rewrite the whole equation and do my own thing. And then that's what leads us to him becoming this hybrid of Atlez and Loki's ultimate version of the God of Stories, transitioning from the God of Mischief, the villain, this mischievous monster, has slowly transitioned, and we've seen it back and forth to this ultimate hero. The reason I'm talking about the conversation and the interaction he's having with He Who Remains and those moments of him doing it over and over and over again. And I think the episode's good, and I think the season is a good season. It just never felt like anything super drastic. Didn't feel like anything completely game changing. Where he's at was a beautiful visual. I mean, he creates another version of the life tree, Yggdrasil. That visual was beautiful, but it obviously it's not the life tree because they've talked about it, or the tree of life. This would be Yggdrasil's cousin, and it's the tree of time. I love that aspect. Visually, it was beautiful. It makes sense. It's Loki, the Norse. I liked his fit, kind of like it felt like one of his most evil outfits. If dark, the green, the horns. I kind of wish it wasn't like a visor helmet, with the hair. I would have preferred like a full helmet, but the horns was cool. So it was funny because he's becoming this, in sense, ultimate version of himself, this hero version of himself. But his fit was like very dark and mischievous. It felt more evil than anything. I was like, that's not right. Like, this episode's good, and I'm not trying to knock it by any means. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I enjoyed the season, but it just wasn't anything. I think maybe I expected more, so that could be on me. I dislike the fact that Miss Minutes went nowhere. She got rebooted and we're done. And yes, they kind of leave it open. We're like, she won't kill us, right? And they're like, we'll see. And it seems like Renslayer got destroyed by Atlez, but I'm not sure because, first off, when you see her, behind her, you see a pyramid and a sphinx. And in my head, I'm like, they had just previously mentioned that they've been finding other variants of He Who Remains and kind of nipping those in the butt to the best of their abilities. What if one of those branches was Ramtut? He got there, and in my head, there's no reason for him to get destroyed by life. I mean, he is He Who Remains. He is Kang. He would be able to control him, so I wouldn't be surprised if that's how they bring her back into the fold, and he was actually just using him and saved her versus her being destroyed. But that's also me kind of plotting and hoping. But if it ends where it ends, they did nothing with her character. So, like, the setups we had in this season, which was Miss Minutes to be this ultimate villain, nothing happened. Renslayer to come at you like anger and like, I can't believe you wiped my memory and I'm running shit, nothing happened. Mobius retires. The TVA is now thriving. We got the second edition to the book. You can see how it's changed and how it's trying to do better, which I absolutely love, which means now it really does feel like there is a multiverse, where before, yes, it was hinted at and there's like little bits and pieces, but at the end of this season, it feels like it's official. Where it's funny because we thought at the end of the first season it was official, but that was really just a small window, and I feel like the door has officially been opened at the end of this season. But enough of the veggies. Overall, I enjoyed the episode, but to the meat and potatoes, to the part that was phenomenal. Let's be honest. Loki, when he walked out, in my head, I was like, of course, he's going to destroy the loom. It's a failsafe. That was explained to us very clearly. He's about to wreck it. What I did not expect was him to basically turn himself into the conduit. That's why you see him set up the chair at the end of time, and he sits down, and just every branch is running through him. So if he leaves there, the timelines are done, so he is stuck there forever and always, thus becoming Atlez, the custodian of the multiverse. His job is to keep them from dying, from falling into the abyss, to protect them. That's literally his job, and that's what he has become. However, the reason I think it's a hybrid is because he's also now Loki, the god of stories, because time is flowing through him. All branches of time are flowing through him and out of him. So Loki being Loki, always being able to duplicate himself with magic, I think we'll see him in the future by sending his consciousness into this character in that moment to explain to this, or to communicate this, or to help adjust time here so things don't get destroyed. I could definitely see that, especially because that would be a great balance of him being Atlez, yes, the custodian, protector, the guardian of the timelines of all these branches, but then mixing in Loki, god of stories, by being able to tell stories and help people with their stories by sending his consciousness to characters who are already existing, bystanders, or just sending this temporary visual representative of himself, like he would duplicate himself. They could still use magic and all of his abilities. So why can't we see him do that in the future? So that's why I was like, I think this is technically where his story ends, where he's done. However, there's room to see him pop up here and there. So I think that's how we'll see him, and that's why I think it's a hybrid. Because yes, he is the custodian, the protector of the multiverse. I mean, he is the conduit. It flows through him, thus allowing him to interact with all those stories. Also, his power level now is ridiculous. It comes with a cost, all right? It's like Genie said, great cosmic power, tiny bit of living space, all right? He's stuck in that chair. But the biggest question is, what does this mean for the future of the MCU? What does it mean for the future of the multiverse? Now that it's thriving through him, this moment has to be some pivotal thing that echoes throughout time and space. So I want to see what it really leads or what it causes. Season was good. I think it was as good as the first. I enjoyed it. It's definitely not bad by any means. I was kind of hoping for a little bit more because there was a few things set up that kind of went nowhere. I loved Victor Timely and the fact that he just kind of ceased to exist because they never dropped off the handbook. Hurts the heart a bit because I really liked and enjoyed his character. That was my favorite version of Kang so far. And I'm interested to see how the TVA plays a role in that, because from what I read online, they're supposed to be in Deadpool 3 and Fantastic Four. So they're still supposed to pop up. They're still supposed to be involved in the future of the MCU in the future when it comes to this multiverse situation, this multiversal situation. I do like how it ends. I love the fact that Loki got his amazing situation. Like, it's tragic because he's there. It's one of the ultimate sacrifices, and I feel like that hasn't been spoken about enough because he's choosing to be there forever and always, just kind of watching as others live, and he'll never get that full like thank you outside of the small group from the TVA who know. But I want to hear your thoughts. What you think about the season? What do you think it means for the future? Do you agree? Do you disagree? Is he god of stories? Is he Atlez? Is he a combination? I thoroughly believe he's some kind of hybrid combo of those two characters. But I want to hear your thoughts, comments, questions, concerns down below. How'd you feel about the season again? What do you think? Theories? How does it affect the future of the MCU? You know I always love chatting with y'all. But until next time, stay safe, be well, y con mucho amor. Adios.